The sky above the desert planet was a deep orange, streaked with dark clouds that threatened storms. Captain Marcus Hale adjusted his helmet and scanned the horizon. He had seen many dangerous worlds before, but something about this one felt different. The winds carried a fine, burning sand that clung to everything it touched. The landscape was barren, harsh, and silent, except for the faint echo of wind against rock formations that jutted out like the bones of some ancient creature. Marcus moved carefully, his boots crunching against the alien sand. He had been sent with a small exploration team to survey the planet, catalog resources, and determine if human colonization was possible. Everything had been going smoothly until the storm had forced him to go out alone. His team had set up a temporary base a few kilometers ahead, but the storm had torn their communication lines. He needed to reach them before nightfall, or they would be isolated completely. Through the swirling haze of orange dust, Marcus saw a movement. At first, he thought it was just a trick of the wind, sand whipping against rocks. But then he noticed the shape, a human figure crawling slowly, struggling against the storm. He froze, trying to make sense of it. Humans didn't live on this planet. It had been surveyed as uninhabitable for centuries. "Hello!" he shouted over the howling wind, though his voice barely carried. The figure paused, lifting her head. She was young, maybe in her early 20s, with dark hair matted with dust. Her clothes were torn and dirty, and she looked as though she had been wandering for days. Marcus's heart skipped. She was alive. She was human. He ran toward her, ignoring the pain in his legs from trudging through the sand. As he got closer, she looked at him with wide, terrified eyes. Her lips quivered, and she whispered something that the wind almost swallowed. "Please, don't let me die out here. I can be a good wife, please." Marcus stopped in his tracks. The words were strange, almost archaic, but the desperation in her voice was unmistakable. He knelt down, holding out his hand. "It's okay. You're safe now. My name is Marcus. I'm here to help you." She hesitated, then crawled toward him, collapsing into the sand. Marcus caught her before she fell completely, supporting her trembling body. Her arms were thin, and her skin had been baked by the desert sun. There was a faint pulse of fear in her chest, a fragility that made him want to protect her even more. "My name is Kaya," she said, her voice barely audible. "Please, I don't want to die. I'll do anything. I can be useful." Marcus felt a mixture of pity and concern. Her words were strange, almost like something from old Earth history, but it didn't matter. She was alive and she needed him. "Don't worry, Kaya," he said firmly. "I won't let anything happen to you. We'll get you to the base and you'll be safe there." The journey back to the base was difficult. The storm had worsened, winds tearing at their bodies, sand filling their eyes and mouths. Marcus guided Kaya as she struggled to keep up, supporting her when she faltered. She seemed frail, but there was a strange determination in her movements, a will to survive that Marcus recognized. As they moved, he tried to make conversation, though words were hard to hear over the wind. "How long have you been out here?" he shouted. I don't know," she answered. Her eyes were distant, haunted. "I woke up, and I was alone, everything else, gone." Marcus frowned. Something about her story didn't add up. Humans didn't live here. How had she survived? He didn't ask directly, knowing that she was in shock, but he kept his mind alert. They passed jagged rock formations, hiding from sudden gusts that threatened to knock them off their feet. Marcus noted the alien flora, tall, spindly plants with sharp edges, and small, glowing fungi that clung to rocks. Some of the plants seemed harmless, but others emitted a faint hissing sound when the wind passed through them. He kept Kaya close, pointing out where she should step to avoid injuries. Hours passed, and the sun began to dip behind the horizon, turning the sky a deeper red. The temperature dropped rapidly. Marcus noticed that Kaya shivered, rubbing her arms against her chest. He took off his jacket and wrapped it around her, ignoring his own discomfort. "You'll be warm soon," he said softly. "Just a little further." Kaya's eyes met his. For the first time, there was a flicker of something other than fear, trust. She nodded faintly, though exhaustion made her almost collapse again. Marcus gritted his teeth and pushed forward. Finally, after what felt like an eternity, they reached the temporary base camp. Lights flickered through the storm, a small cluster of domes protected by reinforced shields. Marcus hurried inside, setting Kaya down on a cot. Medical personnel rushed over, examining her for dehydration, sunburn, and other injuries. She lay still, letting them work, but her eyes never left Marcus. "You're safe now," he reassured her, kneeling beside her cot. "Nothing can hurt you here." Kaya nodded, tears streaming down her dusty cheeks. I thought I was going to die out there, alone." Marcus stayed silent for a moment, letting her calm down. He realized how remarkable it was that she had survived it all. This planet was unforgiving, and yet somehow she had endured. There was strength in her, hidden beneath fear and exhaustion. Over the next few hours, Kaya began to speak more, telling fragments of her story. She described waking up in a strange place, seeing nothing familiar and feeling utterly alone. She spoke of surviving on whatever scraps she could find, dodging creatures she could barely identify, and wandering for what felt like endless days. Marcus listened carefully. There was something different about her. Humans were adaptable, yes, but Kaya had survived alone on a planet where even trained explorers struggled. He realized that this young woman, despite her fragile appearance, possessed a remarkable combination of courage, intelligence, and resilience. That night, as the storm raged outside, Marcus stayed by her side. He didn't know if she would ever fully explain how she came to be on this planet, but he understood one thing clearly. Humans, even one seemingly insignificant person, could endure more than anyone expected. In the days that followed, Marcus and Kaya began to explore the area near the base. They searched for water sources, mapped safe paths, and cataloged the alien flora and fauna. Kaya learned quickly, absorbing his instructions and asking questions. She proved to be intelligent, resourceful, and surprisingly brave. Marcus started to see her not as someone who needed protection, but as a partner, someone who could help him navigate this dangerous world. One afternoon, as they were climbing over a rocky ridge, they spotted movement in the distance. A creature, large and alien, slithered across the sand. Its body was sleek and covered in chitinous plates, and it had multiple glowing eyes that scanned the terrain. Marcus signaled Kaya to stay low, and they watched as the creature sniffed the air, clearly aware of their presence. Marcus whispered, "We need to move carefully. That thing can probably kill us in seconds." Kaya nodded, her face set with determination. "I can help. Show me what to do." Together, they managed to evade the creature, using rocks and terrain for cover. Kaya's quick thinking and calm nerves helped them escape. Marcus was impressed. This was not the behavior of someone helpless. This was the behavior of a human who could think under pressure, who could adapt and survive. That night, around the small campfire inside the base dome, Kaya spoke more freely. I thought humans were fragile," she said quietly. "I thought I was weak, but being out there I had to fight every second." Marcus smiled, a hint of pride in his expression. "You're stronger than you realize. Humans can survive anything if we don't give up. That's why we're here, why we've made it this far in the galaxy." "You're proof of that." Kaya looked at him, eyes wide with a mixture of awe and something deeper, something unspoken. For the first time, she didn't feel like a victim. She felt like a human being who mattered, who had value, and who could make a difference. The days passed, and Kaya's strength grew. She learned to navigate the desert, identify safe plants, and even handle some basic tools. Marcus watched her transformation with admiration. She had come to him as a frightened, pleading girl, but now she stood tall, capable, and confident. One evening, as the sun set over the alien dunes, Marcus and Kaya sat on a rocky outcrop, looking out at the endless desert. "You know," Marcus said thoughtfully, "humans are remarkable. We survive when we shouldn't, we adapt when others fail, and sometimes we find strength in the most unexpected people. Kaya smiled faintly. I never thought I would survive out there. But being here with you, I feel like maybe I can do anything. Marcus nodded. He didn't say it aloud, but he understood the truth in her words. Humanity's greatest power wasn't technology or weapons or even intelligence. It was courage, resilience, and the refusal to give up, even when the odds were impossible. The storm outside had faded, leaving a calm stillness in the desert. Marcus knew there were many dangers ahead: alien creatures, harsh weather, and the unknown challenges of this planet. But for the first time he felt hope, not just for himself but for Kaya and for humanity's place in the stars. And as night fell over the barren landscape, Marcus realized that the girl who had begged to live was no longer simply a survivor. She was a symbol of something greater, the unyielding spirit of humanity, capable of thriving anywhere, even on the edge of the unknown. The desert morning was harsh, with the sun rising like a molten ball in the orange sky. Marcus woke early, as always, checking the base and the perimeter for any signs of danger. Kaya was already up, moving quietly among the equipment, examining the tools and supplies with keen eyes. She had grown stronger over the past days, her movements deliberate and confident. "Morning," Marcus said, noticing her focus. "You slept well." Kaya looked up, brushing sand from her hair. "I did, and I feel ready today, ready to learn more. I want to help." Marcus nodded. He had already begun to appreciate her determination. It wasn't just survival instinct. It was intelligence, curiosity, and a willingness to face challenges head-on. "Good. We have a lot to do. The planet is dangerous, but if we understand it, we can live here safely and maybe even thrive." They packed their gear and left the base, heading toward the rocky plains where alien flora and fauna had been spotted. The terrain was treacherous. Sharp rocks jutted out of the sand like broken teeth, and strange, twisted plants seemed to shift slightly when the wind moved. Marcus taught Kaya how to identify safe paths, how to recognize dangerous plants, and how to move quietly so as not to attract predators. Hours passed as they explored, taking samples, marking safe zones, and observing creatures from a distance. Kaya was quick to learn, asking questions that revealed not only curiosity but a sharp mind. "Why do they all move at night?" she asked, pointing to a group of small, armored animals scuttling across the sand. "Because that's when it's cooler," Marcus explained. "Daytime is dangerous. These creatures have adapted to survive in extreme heat. Humans were smart enough to do the same. We move, we plan, we use our brains to overcome what we cannot endure physically." Kaya nodded thoughtfully, absorbing every word. She had spent days surviving alone, relying purely on instinct. Now, under Marcus's guidance, she was learning strategy, observation, and foresight, the true tools of survival. As they moved further into the plains, a sudden movement caught Marcus's attention. He froze, signaling Kaya to do the same. A massive creature emerged from behind a rocky ridge. Its skin shimmered like glass under the sun, and multiple legs moved with alarming speed. Its eyes glowed a faint green, scanning the terrain with intelligence. "Stay behind me," Marcus whispered. "This one is dangerous. We need a plan." Kaya nodded, clutching a small tool she had learned to use as a makeshift weapon. Her hands were steady, her breathing calm. Marcus could see that she had absorbed everything he had taught her about fear and control. The creature sniffed the air and began moving toward them. Marcus gestured toward a group of rocks ahead. "We can use those for cover. When it charges, we need to stay low and move to the left." They moved silently, hearts pounding. The creature's legs clattered against the rocks, sand scattering with each step. It paused, tilting its head, as though sensing something unusual about these humans. Marcus and Kaya crouched, barely breathing. Then, with a sudden lunge, the creature charged. Kaya's instincts kicked in. She threw a small device she had made from spare parts, which exploded in a flash of light and noise. The creature recoiled, distracted. Marcus seized the moment, running toward a ledge and pulling Kaya up with him. Together, they scrambled over the rocks, staying just out of reach. The creature let out a strange, resonant roar, then retreated, disappearing into the plains. Kaya exhaled, relief washing over her. I did it, she asked, wide-eyed. You did more than that, Marcus said, smiling. You saved us both. That was quick thinking, courage, and action all in one. Humans, we survive because we don't just rely on strength. We rely on our minds and our ability to act fast. You've shown that perfectly. For the rest of the day, they explored cautiously, collecting samples and documenting their findings. Kaya's confidence grew with every step. She no longer felt like someone being protected. She was a partner, a survivor, and a human capable of extraordinary things. That night back at the base, Marcus began repairing some equipment damaged in the storm. Kaya watched, fascinated. How do you know what to do? She asked. Marcus chuckled. Experience, observation, and a little trial and error. Humans have always found ways to solve problems, even when the odds are against us. That's why we're here, why we've survived on countless planets, why we can thrive where others cannot. Kaya nodded slowly, absorbing the lesson. She thought of the days she had wandered alone, thinking she was weak, thinking she couldn't survive. Now she understood that strength wasn't just in muscle or endurance, it was in intelligence, adaptability, and courage. In the following days, Marcus and Kaya ventured further into the desert. They discovered remnants of an ancient alien civilization, ruined structures half buried in sand, walls etched with symbols that no human could yet decipher. The technology was advanced, far beyond human understanding, but Marcus could see potential in it. This could help us, he said, running his fingers over a strange device. If we figure it out, humans could use it to survive here more easily. Humans always adapt. That's what makes us special. Kaya studied the device intently. I want to help, show me how, Marcus smiled. She had changed so much in such a short time. She was no longer the pleading girl who had begged him to save her life. She was a human being capable of learning, understanding, and contributing to survival. He began teaching her basic principles of engineering and adaptation, showing her how humans could use alien technology safely. One evening, as the twin moons rose over the desert horizon, Kaya and Marcus sat atop a dune, overlooking the alien landscape. I never thought humans could do so much, Kaya said quietly. I thought we were fragile, that we couldn't survive here, but I see now. We're clever. We can think. We can survive anything if we don't give up. Marcus nodded. Exactly. Humans have always faced impossible odds, and yet we persist. That's why we explore, why we survive, and why we can thrive even in the harshest environments. You've shown me that humans, even one seemingly weak person, can rise to incredible challenges. Kaya smiled faintly, the glow of the moons lighting her face. She had changed, grown stronger, and now understood the depth of human potential. Marcus realized that this experience wasn't just teaching her. It was reminding him why he believed in humanity so deeply. Their bond deepened as they faced new challenges together. They began to work as a team, exploring deeper into the alien plains, cataloging flora and fauna, and finding hidden water sources. Marcus taught Kaya how to track creatures, set up traps for dangerous predators, and use the environment to their advantage. During one expedition, they encountered a creature far larger than anything they had seen, a massive predator with armored skin and piercing, intelligent eyes. It watched them from a distance, calculating, patient, dangerous. Marcus and Kaya froze, realizing they had to think carefully. Kaya whispered, "We can't fight it head-on, we have to outsmart it." Marcus nodded, impressed by her observation. They used a series of rocks, mirrors, and light reflections to confuse the creature, drawing it away from their path. It worked perfectly. The creature, unable to understand the humans' clever tactics, retreated into the shadows. "That's human ingenuity," Marcus said, smiling at Kaya. "Brains over brawn. We survive not because we are the strongest, but because we are the smartest, the most adaptable." Kaya felt a surge of pride. She had once begged to survive, believing herself weak, but now she was using her mind, her knowledge, and her courage to protect not just herself, but Marcus and their growing foothold on this planet. As days turned into weeks, they began establishing a small outpost. Using alien technology and human resourcefulness, they built shelters, secured water supplies, and developed systems for monitoring the desert. Marcus and Kaya worked tirelessly, side by side, their trust and respect growing with each passing day. One evening, as the sun set in a brilliant blaze of red and orange, Marcus looked at Kaya. She had grown into a capable human, a true survivor. "You know," he said, "humans aren't fragile. We endure, we adapt, and we thrive. You've shown me that strength isn't just in the body, it's in the mind and the spirit." Kaya smiled softly, the wind carrying her words across the desert. "I understand now. I don't just want to survive anymore. I want to live, to learn, to help. Humans, we can do amazing things." Marcus nodded, feeling a deep sense of pride. This planet was harsh, unforgiving, and full of danger, but he knew that as long as humans were clever, adaptable, and courageous, they could survive anything. And Kaya, once a frightened girl pleading for her life, was living proof. Together they stood on the dune, looking out at the endless desert. Storms would come, predators would attack, and the unknown awaited, but they were ready. Humans were meant to endure. Humans were meant to explore. And humans, no matter the odds, would always find a way to survive. The desert planet had grown quieter in the days following the last storm. The heat of the sun still beat down on the sand, but the winds were calmer now. Marcus and Kaya had settled into a routine of exploration, survival training, and research. The outpost was slowly taking shape, a small network of shelters, water collection systems, and observation posts. Each day brought new discoveries and new challenges, but together they had adapted, learned, and thrived. That morning, Marcus noticed unusual markings on the sand. They were large footprints, deeper than any creature they had encountered before. His heart sank. This planet was already harsh and unpredictable, but something told him that this predator was unlike anything they had faced. "Kaya," he said, crouching near the tracks, "these are fresh and big. We need to be careful." Kaya knelt beside him, studying the impressions. "They're fast too," she observed. "I've never seen anything leave tracks like this. Do you think it's intelligent?" Marcus nodded slowly. "It could be, or it's at least smart enough to hunt. Either way, we have to prepare." For hours, they strategized, combining human ingenuity with the alien technology they had begun to understand. Using sensors salvaged from the ruins, they set up a series of traps and alarms around the outpost. They also created decoys using reflective materials to confuse the creature. Every detail was planned, every precaution taken, because they both knew that survival on this planet demanded more than courage. It demanded foresight. As the sun dipped toward the horizon, the predator arrived. It moved like a shadow, silent and precise, its eyes glowing faintly in the fading light. Marcus and Kaya watched from a distance, hearts pounding. The creature circled the outpost, testing the traps. It paused at one of the decoys, tilting its head as though unsure what it saw. Then it lunged forward, triggering the alarms and sending a flash of light across the desert. Kaya acted instinctively. "Marcus, the side gate," she shouted. "We can trap it between the sensors." Marcus moved quickly, following her lead. Together, they activated a series of panels, forcing the creature into a controlled area. It roared, a deep, resonant sound that shook the ground, but the humans were calm, focused, and ready. Using a combination of reflective barriers and netting derived from alien materials, they immobilized the predator, keeping it at bay without harming it. Marcus turned to Kaya, admiration in his eyes. "You did that perfectly." Humans survive because we think, plan, and act together. We don't always rely on strength alone. We rely on our minds, our courage, and each other. Kaya smiled faintly, the exhaustion of days and nights of vigilance showing on her face. "I never thought I could do this. But being with you, learning from you, I see now that humans can face anything." With the predator contained, they studied it. Its biology was unlike anything they had encountered, resilient, adaptive, and remarkably intelligent. Marcus realized that this creature, though dangerous, could be a source of knowledge. Humans had always learned from the world around them, adapting to survive, and this was no different. Over the next few days, Marcus and Kaya worked tirelessly to secure their outpost. They built stronger shelters, reinforced the perimeter, and mapped safe zones throughout the surrounding desert. Kaya's skills continued to improve. She learned how to operate alien devices, analyze terrain, and anticipate environmental dangers. Marcus watched her transformation with pride. She had gone from a frightened girl pleading for her life to a capable human, ready to face any challenge. One afternoon, while exploring a canyon beyond the outpost, they discovered the remnants of a massive alien structure buried beneath the sand. It appeared to be a research facility, abandoned for centuries. The walls were etched with strange symbols, and panels of alien technology glimmered faintly under the sunlight. Marcus approached carefully, scanning for traps or hazards. "This is incredible," he murmured. "If we can understand even a fraction of this, humanity could gain knowledge beyond imagination." Kaya's eyes widened. "Do you think we could use it to make life here easier?" Marcus nodded. "We could, but it will take time, patience, and smart decisions. That's what humans do. We adapt, we overcome, and we thrive." They began exploring the facility, carefully documenting each discovery. Strange machines hummed faintly and panels lit up when touched. Kaya's understanding of human ingenuity and problem-solving became evident as she helped Marcus decipher basic functions of the technology. Together, they started creating tools that could improve their survival: water filtration devices, energy sources, and communication arrays. One evening, as the twin moons rose above the horizon, they stood on the roof of the outpost, overlooking the desert. The landscape stretched endlessly, beautiful yet unforgiving. Marcus spoke softly, almost to himself. "This planet is harsh, but humans, we are tougher than we realize. We endure, we adapt, and we find ways to survive and even thrive where others fail." Kaya looked at him, her face illuminated by the moonlight. "I understand now. I thought I was weak, that I would never survive. But humans, we are strong in ways I never imagined. We think, we plan, we act. We don't just live, we endure and we rise." Their bond had grown beyond survival. They were partners, equals, and witnesses to the incredible resilience of the human spirit. Marcus realized that Kaya's courage and intelligence had reminded him of why he believed in humanity so deeply. Humans were not just survivors. They were explorers, thinkers, creators, and innovators. A few days later, while testing a newly built energy collector, the outpost's sensors picked up a massive storm forming on the horizon. Unlike previous storms, this one moved with terrifying speed, carrying electrical charges that could destroy the outpost in minutes. Marcus and Kaya rushed to secure everything, reinforcing shields and securing supplies. The storm hit harder than anything they had experienced. Winds tore at the shelters, sand and debris flew in all directions, and lightning struck dangerously close. Amid the chaos, Kaya's calm and quick thinking became invaluable. She rerouted energy to critical systems, adjusted shields, and coordinated with Marcus to stabilize the outpost. Together, they survived the night, their teamwork a testament to human ingenuity and resilience. When the storm finally passed, the desert was quiet once more. The outpost had minor damage, but nothing that human determination could not fix. Marcus and Kaya stood side by side, surveying their work. They had survived, adapted, and overcome yet another challenge. In the following weeks, they continued to explore the alien ruins, unlocking new technologies and learning more about the planet. They discovered underground reservoirs, safe havens, and evidence of alien knowledge that could revolutionize human survival strategies. Every discovery reinforced a central truth. Humans, when clever, brave, and united, could overcome any obstacle. One day, while mapping a distant canyon, they encountered a large group of alien creatures, some of which appeared intelligent and curious rather than hostile. Marcus and Kaya observed quietly, using their knowledge and patience to avoid confrontation. Kaya suggested creating signals and markers to communicate with the creatures, an idea Marcus admired. Over time, the creatures began responding, showing signs of understanding and recognition. Marcus realized that humans had not only survived, they were now learning to coexist with the alien ecosystem. It was another example of how humans, through intelligence, adaptability, and ingenuity, could thrive in environments that seemed impossible. As they returned to the outpost, Kaya looked at Marcus, a soft smile on her face. "I never imagined I could do so much. I came here scared, weak, and alone. Now I feel like I can face anything." Marcus placed a hand on her shoulder. "You've grown into a remarkable human. That's what we do. We survive, we learn, and we rise above." Humanity isn't about being the strongest. It's about being smart, brave, and persistent. You've shown that in every way possible. In the final days of their mission, Marcus and Kaya prepared for the arrival of the rescue team. They had collected data, built systems, and created a small, thriving outpost in a place that had once seemed uninhabitable. More importantly, they had proven the incredible potential of humans, not just to survive, but to thrive, adapt, and transform their environment. When the rescue team finally arrived, Marcus and Kaya stood together, watching the ships descend. They had endured storms, predators, and the alien unknown, and they had prevailed. Kaya's transformation was remarkable, from a frightened girl begging for her life to a confident, capable human, embodying the very best of what humanity could achieve. As the ships landed, Marcus looked at Kaya one last time before boarding. "Humans endure," he said softly. "And we always will. No matter where we go, no matter what challenges we face, we survive, we adapt, and we thrive." Kaya smiled, her eyes reflecting both relief and pride. "I understand now. Humans are extraordinary, and I am one of them." Together, they boarded the ship, leaving the desert planet behind. The outpost remained as a testament to human resilience, ingenuity, and courage. Marcus and Kaya had faced impossible odds, survived the harshest conditions, and proven that humanity, even when alone on the edge of the unknown, could rise above any challenge. As the ship ascended into the sky, Marcus looked back at the desert below. The wind still whispered across the dunes, and the alien ruins stood silently, witnesses to the triumph of the human spirit. In that moment, he knew that humanity's place in the universe was secure, not because of strength alone, but because humans had the courage, intelligence, and determination to survive anywhere. Kaya reached out, holding his hand briefly. "Thank you," she said. "For saving me and for showing me what humans can do." Marcus nodded. "No, Kaya, you saved yourself. You showed me and the universe what humans are truly capable of." As the ship disappeared into the stars, the desert planet slowly faded from view. Yet the legacy of two humans, one seasoned explorer and one young woman who had learned to rise above fear and weakness, remained. It was a story of survival, courage, and the extraordinary power of human determination, the very essence of what it meant to be human. No matter the planet, no matter the storm, no matter the predators or the unknown, humans endured. Humans adapted, and humans thrived.